guys, welcome back. I know what you're probably thinking. Klaus, why is there a giant lot on the screen right now? Weren't you working on your various medieval builds, from peasants to exotic merchants? Yeah, but sandwiched in between all this, I've been doing some other lots. And one of those was Griffin's Roost, and yeah, now I'm working on what I am calling the Dragonry. It's essentially a spot in town. I'm kind of like a dragon stable, but more like a dragon hotel, where they can stay if they want to, because not all dragons in this universe have like an owner. Like, none of them have an owner, it's just they choose to go with certain families. Bless you, kitten. There will be, in the deep woods, there will be another lot with more wild dragons, ones that don't choose to live with families, but this one is going to be for all dragons, which is kind of inspired by the Tamir series, which I'm probably still pronouncing wrong, but also How to Train Your Dragon has some really cool buildings that I kind of want to try and replicate. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I gotta move this real quick. This is my inspiration, by the way. That's kind of another one, but not as cool. I really like this one. We're not gonna have it in a cliffside, but we can take some inspiration from it. And the reason why this lot is so large is because dragons are big. First thing that I want to do is I want a dragon for scale. What am I doing? Just so that I know how big to make certain areas. Oh, wrong one. Okay. You. Because ideally this is going to be a U-shaped complex, but we're going to take, again, inspiration from How to Train Your Dragon. There's going to be lots of open arches and things like that. So let's just get right into this. I honestly don't know how well this is going to work, but we're going to see. Because this is meant to be a very large lot. And I want some open space because I feel like giving them like some open garden-y type things would be nice. This was 10, right? Yeah. 10 and 7. Also, that's a really handy trick to use if you're ever trying to count things but you're not sure. Like, you can just use the actual tool to measure out. Because I know I'm terrible at that sometimes, so it really helps me to have that tool available. So this is going to be kind of their one open area. I want this to be multi-storied. And just, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a complex, literally. We're going to have an open area on top of the roofs because obviously dragons can't go through stairs. So flying and landing here would get them to the upper layers. And then the last layer, I really want an open garden as well on one of the roofs. So I think what we're going to do here, because I do want to mimic that roof that we do see where it's open. This is probably not going to be a usable space, but I like the concept of it. I like it being open. Because they're dragons. They don't really get sick, necessarily. I mean, I kind of want to open this up, too. But then I'd have to do it on the other side. I'm gonna leave it closed for now, but if you think I should do it the other way, definitely leave like a comment or something. I definitely read feedback, and sometimes I like hearing from you guys in terms of just ideas for what to do. Because I don't have all the answers, and it's nice. So, because this is, like I said, it's more of a dragon hotel, they're gonna have their own individual rooms. This might need to be bigger. Because my intention was to have a hallway. But I actually am thinking now that that's not how we want to go. So I'm going to open this up. Why did I do it that way? Why did I do it that way? This one first. Yeah, we're going to keep this open. Because they have to be able to get in and out. So it's not, like, I can't put door. It's not a typical build where I could, like, put a door in. But I am thinking I need to extend it back, because if I do a line here, that's not a big enough hallway for them to get down. They need at least this. So we're going to have to expand this wing and that wing. Which is fine. This is part of building from scratch. When you have some reference photos but you aren't building an identical sort of thing, like, it makes sense. It takes a lot more planning. Or not even really planning, but like, you just have to kind of go with it and be like, alright, this isn't working. Let's try something else. Why? Fine. We will sledgehammer our way through this. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, already that looks a lot better. Okay, so we need to continue this one. Cool, cool, cool. Continue that. And then we need to toss a roof on this. Which is gigantic. But that's okay. And I still want this open. I do. Because this is going to be an open hall. You know what? They're going to have 2-story rooms. They deserve it. And I kind of like the idea of this being open as well. Or maybe I'm going to put roof tiles on there and it can be a place they can kind of hang out where humans can't go. I don't know. Again, I don't have a solid plan here. I have an inkling of a plan. Alright, so I think, because the rooms need to be big, I think that's a good size. 10 by 9. Because obviously the dragons need to fit in these rooms. They can't just shuffle them off. I do want to have like a little, not a servant's quarters, but like the people who work here do need spaces to like go to the bathroom and take care of themselves, even if I don't have this run as like a community lot. Which it's not. It's an owned lot. Because I'm gonna have somebody probably living here. Actually, no, it is a community lot. I just was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, and yeah, I did. Because my Griffin's Roost, I did screw up. That is not a community lot. So, might have to address that. Okay, and then I'm gonna have some smaller rooms here. I mean, obviously, they're fairly large. But I want to have basically rooms for the smaller dragons. And then this one needs to be expanded now, which is easier since it didn't have a roof. And they also, I'm gonna guess they also help raise dragons here, things like that. Just because it makes sense that dragons need to live somewhere. Another bit of world building, because I was trying to think, like, okay, so since griffins and dragons, they're not owned, they make that choice of where they're going to stay, well, how does that work in an economy? And what I've decided to do is essentially, dragons do allow their eggs to be quote-unquote sold. And the way that that works is you have to pay a tithe to the dragons, as well as the merchant can take a fee for like the care and feeding of, because dragons do like gold. And it's with the understanding that the little dragon absolutely has say in, like, once they get older, they can leave if they want to. But I'm thinking there's going to be, like, terms. Like, they have to stay with the family for such and such amount of time. And then after they hit a certain birthday, they're free to go about their business. It's just, it's something that'll be built into, like, the dragon's culture. Because I'm one of those people, it has to make sense. And so if they're free creatures, well, you can't sell them unless the adult dragons are like, oh no, this is fine. We're okay with this. Okay. I do have an upper story here. But I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. Because like I said, this one's gonna have a garden on top. But I do want some more quarters, because someone has to... It's going to take more than a few people to basically manage the dragons. Okay, so for now, I'm going to put walls in just to make my life easier when it comes to... Actually... We're just going to do that for now. I'll remove them towards the end. So let's see what we're working with. I mean, I think we got a pretty good shell so far. Like I said, this is going to be a garden. That's going to be a kind of a little stopping area. I think the ones over here are going to be one level, versus these are two-story. Because dragons also have hierarchy in this kind of verse that I'm creating. So I feel like the lesser dragons aren't going to get the really big fancy rooms. And they also don't... I'm sure they do pay something to stay here, just to help keep it going, but again, it's like, this is kind of just there for them. It's run by the crown. Just to kind of help service them, because they're a part of their society. I'm going to do a quick hot pause here. Alright. I always check the recordings now, because I'm paranoid that I'll lose some of it. Which is fine, like I can just mention what I did or move past it kind of thing, but especially when I have to keep Firefox open, which, I mean, technically I could just save the image, but we're already here. This is already happening. It's fine. So first thing I want to do now is change the roof before we start getting all into the terrain paints. I like the idea of a tiled roof. What are my other options? But I also like the idea of something really fancy, because they are dragons. Oh! Can the dragons have a dragon roof? I mean, they're not going to be made out of dragon scales, but like, I love the idea that they intentionally made the tiles dragony. Oh my gosh, yes, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Don't care. Okay. So now this is going to be a garden, which I don't think I have like grass or anything, but we can work with that. For now, I'm just going to do tiles. I would love it if I could put like a pond up here. That's one thing about these large lots, it takes a minute. But yeah, I would love it if I could put a pond up there, but that's just not within The Sims 2's capabilities. And then these are also going to have dun, dun, dun. Okay. And that's just going to be like a large hangout space for the dragons. Which, I like that idea. Okay. So where are we going to have pathways? Here. And then I like the idea of this being opened up as well. I just want it very open, because they need to be able to get in and out. What? Oh. Like, that's a very important aspect of this whole setup, is they can come and go as they please. It's set up for them. Okay. And then this one we're just gonna have open here. And then I'm gonna probably do like a little ledge of some kind. Since these ones are single story, they still need like some sort of ledge to land on. And so I think that works for that. And then I'll put like a ladder at the end so that that can be accessed. I meant for this to be something that they could, that was using it to get to the second floor, but now I'm reconsidering. Actually, instead of a ladder, what if... Oh, come on. Don't be hateful. Don't be hateful. Where there's a will, there's a way. I like that better. This will be open as well. Because they just, I want them to have different exits, because obviously you can only have so many going through there. And then this way, the people who are servants here can get into these top rooms. Yes, very good. Okay, so we need to do this end. This lot is so gigantic. I'm kind of glad that I don't have apartment life, just because the witches, I think, would totally crash this lot. Totally. So I do want them to have pondy bits. Because I feel like some dragons do like water. They're not necessarily aquatic, but they like water. So if they want to swim, I would like to give them that option. And of course my water looks really weird. Obviously it looks inky black because of a mod that I have. It makes us have pretty water, but we need to put a pool somewhere. So they're gonna sacrifice their bathroom for the sake of pretty water. And then I'm just gonna terrain paint the kind of pathways. I don't know what I'm gonna do for them yet, because if there's giant dragons walking along the edge, it's probably gonna be fairly muddy, so I might have to do stone, but we'll see. Okay, now in terms of doorways, I can't really put doors in. It just doesn't work, and I don't think, what are my two-story arches? I do have some nice arches. Yeah, that one's 4 though. I definitely want a 3. Oh, that's kind of cool, because the design matches. I'm gonna pull it over. See how it's like got designs in it? I like this, and I also like the idea that they can shut it if they want to for a little bit of privacy, or maybe they shut the rooms when they're not in use so that the dragons know if they can occupy a room or not. Oh my god, this makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. I don't know if I have any that are gonna match over here, but that's a problem I'm willing to have. Because I know I have these, but they also present a problem for me. Where's my dragon? Where's my dragon for scale? Ooh, that's a tight squeeze. What if we yank out the wall? So they're not as fancy over here, but we can yank out the walls and then add columns of some kind so that they're not completely, you know, barren. Can't do that though. Maybe something like that as like an arch. I've used these in a prior lot, so it does feel like it's kind of consistent. I don't mind those. But obviously, even if they're quote-unquote lesser dragons, like, they're still frickin' dragons. We don't want to offend them here. What do these look like side by side? Is that a fairly large... Dragon for scale, where are you? No, that wouldn't be. I mean, even this is kind of a squeeze, but obviously they get their wings down. Alright, so I think we're gonna go with these. I don't think I have any recolors. Nope. That's okay. That's okay. So let's see. Which I like better. Because that's really going to be the deciding factor here. Whatever I think looks better. Let's put up the walls. Go down. It does clip a little bit. I'm not mad about that. I hate that gap though. Oh, I hate that gap. I don't even have anything to like fix that matches. Ew, ew, ew. Okay. I think I won't mind the gap with these, because they're just like decorative wall bits more than anything. So I think that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna inset them a little bit so that the gap's even further. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to place so many of these. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. This is the life I chose for myself. Also, if you have links to 3-tiled, 1-story arches that would fit in, definitely leave them. I have a lot of custom content, but I don't have nearly as much build mode as I would probably like. And that's just because I just, for the longest time, build mode wasn't really important to me, which is funny because I'm more of a builder than anything now. But yeah, I was more into gameplay. And then I got into decorating lots, and now I like to build lots. Like you do. A natural progression. Okay. I really like this. As soon as I thought about the Griffin's Roost, immediately I was like, well, what about the dragons? And what about the Hala? And what about, you know, all the other creatures? So there's definitely going to be more of these creature areas, just because I'm a fan. I kind of want to build a plant sim place too, not even gonna lie. Because I'm also, I guess I would consider myself a bit of a world builder. Any of my Sims hoods, I tend to get way wrapped up in the lore and the history and all that, which it does bog it down, and it does make it hard sometimes for me to actually play, because I'm so stuck on, I'll get stuck in a certain aspect and I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense. And then, yeah, it takes me a while to move past that, actually. Let's turn this off now. So I'm gonna plunk a bunch of these down so I can put some flooring down. I should have done that first, but I didn't. Don't judge me. Also, dragon for scale, best idea that I had. Because I was terrified that I would build the lot and then I would try to put dragons down and they would not fit. That was real fear right there. I have done that in the past where I've like tried to build a stable or something like that, and then I went to put the animals down. I'm like, oh boy, y'all don't fit in here at all. Thankfully that didn't help. I did a kennel build a while ago. Thankfully that didn't happen with that lot. I would have been really sad, but it was also a giant kennel, so at that point, if it did happen, it would be a bit concerning. What? Okay. I thought for a second that I messed that up, but I didn't. Okay. Look at the shadows of the things. That's fine. I don't care about that. I still haven't decided on the, like, as far as color schemes, which dragons are going to be considered lesser. And obviously the humans are going to have a different opinion on that, or the Sims. Like, dragons have their own hierarchy that is theirs, and they don't really explain it, because why would they explain it? It's theirs. It's none of your business. I think the Sims more care about like certain colors and things like that. Like there's a family that has mostly white and gray. There's a family that has more purples and reds. And those are the dragons that they stick with. But dragons don't care about that so much. But I have to decide what they're going to care about. Okay, so we're going to do a hot pause. And we're going to finish this up with doing the wallpaper. Alright. So as much as I would love for the whole thing to be a giant roof like my inspiration picture, it's not really feasible in The Sims. But I still want it to be very colorful, because that's another thing that I think is going to be important to dragons, is having really colorful environments when they're not kind of hanging out, because they aren't going to really live, quote unquote, on the lots of like the nobles and stuff. They're going to have their own basically separate areas. Some of them will stay here, some of them will stay in the wilds. They just more, well, they definitely put nests on top of all of the buildings because they have no respect. But yeah, they don't stay there full time just because there's no room, and I can't put giant stables on all my lots. There's no way. But I still want to have them, so that's my compromise with myself. Oh my goodness, how am I gonna... Because I don't want it... Like, I have those colorful Tudor walls, but I feel like they look a little dingy compared with what I want. You can hear that noise in the background. That is a cat eating kibble. Maybe something like this, because it matches this roof, but it's like very ornate, and it's also bright. It's like a bright brick. Oh, is it a two-tiler? Oh, that's hateful. Oh, it's actually, this one is actually double. I mean, I think I like the single better, but it bothers me. We could go full Henry, Hampton Court. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with this one. I don't think I have anything else that's like an outside wall that would look good and make sense. have a lot of walls. I just don't have anything that's quite right for an outside wall. Like, this is a great wall, but it's like not meant to be outside. It's clearly the materials aren't suitable. I do have these, but I feel like they're not as fancy. Dragons need fancy quarters, I guess. I don't know. They fancy. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else that would be better. So we're gonna go with this. I feel like this is a good choice. It's a good color, it's very bright, but it's also expensive looking. That's important just for the dragons in general. It bothers me a little bit that those clip, but not enough to not have them there. Okay, so we did our wallpaper. I want to put a fence here. We're just gonna finish up the outer details today. I'm trying to be better about not making videos that are a million hours long, because I know y'all don't have time for that, and that's fine. That's fine. Is that fancy enough? I don't think it is. Ooh, that's fancy. Also fancy, but the wrong color. Which one do I like better? I think I like this cream one better. Any other options that might suffice? Ooh, we can do that. I don't think I've been able to use that yet. I don't like that one as much. I don't like that one as much. Oh snap. Or we could go with the old standby, the brownstone. I like this. We're gonna do with this sandstone fairy tale romancy fence. Yes, and we're gonna do that up here too. I'm rethinking the columns now because they're black. No! Now they don't go. Yeah, they do. It's fine. Okay. So for these, since these are specifically going to be little dragons, we can have some smaller Archies. It's still going to be open, because I feel like dragons don't like to be cooped up. Maybe they have their own possibly sordid history with being cooped up. We don't know. But I feel like closed doors would bother them, even the really little ones. I mean, I kind of want to put that there, even though it's super ridiculous. But I also kind of don't care. We're doing it. Yes, yes, and yes. We're doing it. Unless it's not centered. It is. Okay. Okay. In terms of windows, I do want to give them windows. Not in the lower area, but the higher up. Actually, do I have 2-story windows? Wrong area. What is this? Suspense? Okay. Oh, why are the frames dumb? Okay. Alright, so I have these. Ooh, I have these. Which do fit the motif. And those. Those. My favorite window, this one. And where's that one? I feel like the big windows are gonna be too big. Cause like, you have one here. It's also bigger than the door tile, which I don't like. I mean, I like that it matches, but I just think that it wouldn't look right. Which is sad, because I think that cuts this one out too. And I love that window. I don't care, I'm leaving it. Okay, so what colors does this come in? Not super in love with those, it must be said. Ooh. Ooh, I like that one. That's gonna be our winner. I love that. Sorry, favorite window. Because I'm pretty sure I have these one tile too, which means we can have some fun. Everybody gets two windows. Yes, perfect. And then I might give them one. Do we really want to give them one though? No. They don't get one. But I could do them here. I feel like that wouldn't be horrible. So then the corridors are all lit up. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Because again, they're still dragons. Just because they're not the fancy dragons doesn't mean we aren't going to give them their due. Except now I gotta... make this match. What am I doing? Coulda. Oh, I'm actually doing pretty well considering. Okay. Here. Here. Okay, I love how that looks. I love how that looks. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Yes. Okay. Because these rooms are just going to be flooded with light. Alright, let's get some terrain paint down. I think I'm going to go with like a cobblestone option. Because, like I said, if they're all walking around here, like, it's going to be a disaster. Kind of like the green. Love that, but it's not feasible here. Like the round ones a little bit. I also haven't used those yet. Dirt. How about this? Maybe. I mean, that would kind of make sense because like their weight would crush the cobblestones. Ooh, I kind of like that. What's this? Alright. And this. Alrighty then. Yeah. Well, this is just me going, eh, eh, eh. And y'all know me, I'm probably gonna go back to one of the first things that I liked. But I have to look through everything just in case. Yep. We are gonna go for... What about just this dark slate? And then that'll be a man-made pond. So like, they intentionally put it there for the dragons. Yes! Perfect! So now we need to pick flooring here. Needs to be fancy but durable. Also needs to match. I kind of like that. Come on, don't be angry. I like these two, but not here. That's not fancy enough. I like those because it ties the red and the gray in. Since we are doing red, gray, brown, that seems to be the color scheme. Alright, one more thing that I want to do before I let you guys go off into the world is I want some sort of edging here, just so it looks a bit finished. Okay. So it's not in the way, but it looks more finished than it did. Alright guys, so this is, I guess, part 1 of the Dragonry, because I can never do something in one single episode apparently. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. I mean, this is not what I really envisioned, and I don't know if it quite does the inspiration justice, but I'm interested to hear what you think. I'm definitely going to work on this again. Obviously, I'm working on all kinds of stuff lately, but yeah, so just let me know what you think, because I do really appreciate, again, all of your guys' comments or just shares on Tumblr. Like, it's awesome. It's super cool. I love that I'm like sitting here going, I kind of don't like that. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it. Alright, so thank you guys so much for subscribing, like I said, commenting, interacting with me. Just watching is awesome. And I'm gonna see you in the next one.